In this lesson, we are going to explain when and how the Gradle task depends on another one. In many cases, you might need to execute a specific task before you execute another one. In our example, let's say we want to execute a task called access granted before we execute the home path. So the home path task will depend on the access granted task. Let's create a new task access granted, println access granted, and now we need to tell Gradle that home path task depends on the access granted task. Home path dot depends on access granted. Open the terminal and execute Gradle access granted, and the task is successful. Now I'm gonna run the home path task, which implicitly should call the access granted because of the depends on clause here. So let's try that. Gradle home path. And as you see here, before home path task executed, the access granted task ran. Now let's say our home path task depends on multiple tasks. One of them is access granted, which we have over here, but also let's say it depends on another task like the build task that comes with the Java plugin. So I'll add the dependency here, comma, build. And in the terminal, let's run Gradle home path with info level and quiet mode. We see the build task ran before the home path. Also, if we scroll up, so both tasks ran because we told Gradle that the home path task depends on access granted and build tasks. We can remove it for now. Additionally, I want you to know that you can write depends on in different syntax. I'll comment these lines. And now I'm going to do the depends on in different way. Depends on colon and the task name build, for example. And now let's run home path task in the terminal with info level and quiet mode. And as we see here, the home path task was the last task to execute. But before that, we see the build task ran because of the depends on. And internally, the build task depends on another task. So you can see here, it ran the check and test and so on.